now. Like, do it. Put me in the checkpoint. I don't care. I'll come back with a different build.
Oh. No, she wasn't ready.
Oh, get handled, son.
A few moments later.
Handled, son. Oh, the other one's back. I just went in. I'm back.
Another one.
Handled, son. Back in the door I go. To the flow.
What is going on, everybody? It is your boy Nothing But Skills, bringing you another division video. And today's video is going to be focused on what I consider one of the top PvP builds in the game right now, just for the fact of how hard this build hits. I'm pretty sure this is the hardest hitting DPS build in the game, just because when you build your stack, you can put out a lot of damage. But before we get into this video, guys, I just want to say thank you guys for all the support. If you're new to my channel and this is the first time you're watching a video, hit that subscribe button. If you guys enjoy this video after watching this video, hit that thumbs up. And as always, if you have any questions, use the comment section down below. So let's get right into the build. So yes, the build I am running is a 6-piece classify gear set. Now my primary firepower is 384,000, that's firearms of 5,600. My toughness is 530,000, that's stamina of 7,600. And my skill power is 87,000, and that's electronics of 2,900. What the Striker 6-piece does, guys, is the set 2 bonus gives you 20% stability. Set 3 bonus gives you 10% enemy armor damage. Set bonus for the Striker's battle gear, every consecutive hit deals 1% more damage, stacks up to 100%. Missing shots drops the bonus by 2%. Bonus is reduced by 1% every second. Bonus can be paused by EMP and is lost when exiting combat. Set bonus 5 gives you an additional 10% stability, an additional 5% enemy armor damage. And then set bonus 6, which makes this build Striker persistent. This is what makes the build a top tier build and one of the best PvP builds in the game. Every hit adds a self-healing bonus of 0.02% for max health per second. This bonus is increased by 0.05% for every 3,000 stamina, stacks up to 100 hit. Missing shots drops the bonus by 1 stack. The bonus is reduced by 2 stacks every second. And then of course that's not it. It also has improved Striker's battle gear. Every hit increases the bonus damage from the Striker's battle gear by additional 1%. Missing shots drops the bonus damage from the Striker's battle gear by 1%, and the bonus is reduced by 2% every second. So we're going to go into how I have this build set up in every single mod and weapon I'm using. So for the chest, it's rolled stamina, it has health, exotic damage resilience, and ammo capacity. Like I've told you before in my other videos, and if you haven't seen my other videos on the chest piece, I really recommend you running exotic damage resilience and health. For the mods, I'm running stamina mods with exotic damage resilience. For the mask, it's rolled stamina. Major attribute is critical hit chance. Minor attribute is blind death resistance. For the major attribute, if you're gonna run critical hit chance, you need to run exotic damage resilience mods. Now, if you put exotic damage resilience on the mask, then I recommend you putting critical hit chance mods on your gear set. So since I'm running critical hit chance on my mask, I'm gonna run exotic damage resilience mods on all my gear pieces. The mods is stamina mod with exotic damage resilience. For the knee pads, it's rolled stamina. Major attribute is critical hit damage. Minor attribute is bleed resistance, blind death resistance, and burn resistance. Now, some of you might want to run health on your knee pads instead of critical hit damage. I feel that my critical hit damage is key for me putting out as much damage in 1.8, since I do like to stack a lot of critical hit chance and a lot of critical hit damage on my builds. And you'll notice that I'm consistent with that throughout all my builds, that I do stack more critical hit damage than health on my gear pieces. For the mods, it has stamina mods with exotic damage resilience and performance mods with 6% first aid self-heal. For the backpack, it's rolled firearms. It has critical hit damage and burn resistance. Now this is another piece you can roll health on. I choose to roll critical hit damage, as I told you before, just because I stack critical hit chance and critical hit damage on my builds. For the mods, I'm running firearm mods with exotic damage resilience and performance mods with 6% first aid self-heal. For the gloves, they're rolled firearms. They have critical hit chance, critical hit damage, and SMG damage. Now whatever gun you plan on using, whether it's an assault rifle, a shotgun, an SMG, an LMG, or a marksman rifle, that is the type of damage you want to roll on your gloves. So for me, I run SMGs more than I run assault rifles, so I stacked SMG damage on my gloves. That is my key tip for the day, guys. Make sure that you're doing that with your build if you want to get as much damage as you can from your weapon. And for the holster, the major attribute is critical hit chance, and I feel this is the best in slot just because that extra 4% critical hit chance is key.
Another one.
For you maxing out that critical hit chance. Now I tend to run around 50% critical hit chance on most of my builds and around 115 to 130% critical hit damage, just depending on what build I'm running. So that's why I really recommend you running critical hit chance on your holster. For the mods, it's a performance mod with first aid self heal. Now this gear set is not fully optimized and I am still missing a lot of good rolls on the armor, but for now it does really well. This gear set as is, I feel is the best for the DZ. I feel that around 5,600 firearms and 7,500 and up stamina is the ideal setup you want to have for the Dark Zone. Now if you want to run the same gear set in skirmish or last stand, all you need to do is switch out the stamina mods if you don't want to run that much stamina, and put on some firearm mods with 1% critical hit chance or firearm mods with exotic damage resilience, just depending on what you want. And what it's going to do, it'll drop your stamina down to around 6,500 if you switch all the gear pieces to firearm mods, and then it'll bump up your firepower to around 6,500. For me, I tend to just leave it the same when I'm going in the Dark Zone or when I'm going in last stand. Recently, I've been playing with 5,600 firearms and 7,600 stamina and have been perfectly fine, especially when I build my stack. And we're going to talk about the fastest way you can build your stack and what weapons are good for doing that. So for my weapons, I'm running the House. It has 23% critical hit damage, 19.4k base damage, and then it has deadly and critical hit damage is increased by 15%. And the responsive damage is increased by 10% when closer than 10 meters to the target. And then of course, the main talent on the gun, the card counter. Now how do I have this house modded? I have a pro red dot sight with critical hit damage, headshot damage, and critical hit chance. I have a loud vent break with critical hit damage, critical hit chance, and headshot damage. Sometimes I do switch out this loud vent break, and then I'll put on a tyrant suppressor that has 7.5% critical hit chance, 6% headshot damage, and 4% critical hit damage. It also has a small grip with 19% critical hit damage, reload speed, and optimal range, and then of course a magazine size with critical hit chance and rate of fire. I feel like on most of your builds, the extended magazine that you want to run is going to be a magazine size with critical hit chance and rate of fire, unless you're running something like a sniper rifle where then you can stack a little bit more critical hit damage. So you might put critical hit chance, critical hit damage on it, unless it's a Deadeye build. Now for my secondary, which is the gun that I recommend you running with your striker build so you can build up that stack as fast as possible. As you guys just see in this video, I'm able to build up my stack within a few shots, and a lot of times before I go into battle, I'll hit an NPC, I'll build up my stack, and then I'll go target a player. Now if you don't have any NPCs in the area, you can still use this showstopper to fight players because it hits really hard and your stack will go up really fast. As soon as you get your stack, I like switching straight to my house to drop the player. Now what my showstopper has is a base damage of 65,000. It has responsive, damage is increased by 10% when closer than 10 meters to the target. It has unforgiving, missing health segments increase your damage. One missing segment does 10% damage, two missing segments, additional 25% damage. And then of course, showstopper. The reason why this stacks so quickly is because your accuracy with this weapon is increased the fewer shells you have left in the magazine. So the more you shoot it, you'll notice that your sights get smaller and smaller, and that just makes it more efficient when you're trying to build your stack. For the mods, I have a reflex sight that has critical hit chance, critical hit damage, and headshot damage. And then I have a hand stop that has reload speed, critical hit damage, and stability. Now, for the underbarrel, you could run an additional critical hit chance, or you could even get an underbarrel that has optimal range. So I just put the reload speed on there since I don't really fight with the showstopper. It's more to build my stacks than anything. And then for the skills, I'm running the booster shot, which is going to temporarily increase my damage and damage resistance for a short amount of time. Now this is great to pair with the immune box since the booster shot's only going to heal me for 47,000 and it's going to come back every 51 seconds. The immune box is going to come back every 36 seconds and it's going to give me a bigger heal than my booster shot. Also, it's going to help fight shock turrets, shock grenades. Also, it will clear your bleed when you're getting hit with the Predator's Mark, and if you run in and out, you can constantly have something to fight the Predator's Mark with. And then what's really good about it, when you explode it, it gives you that really big heal that's going to be bigger than your overdose or even your booster shot if you're running low electronics like me. For my special, I'm either running a survivor link or recovery link. Hardly do I ever run a tactical link, but I do like running survival link with the striker just because you're going to get that much more tanky when you have like 3 guys around you and you're building your stack up, or recovery link if you just want to have that extra heal come back to you. For the talents, since most of the time I am running in a group, since I do PvP either in last stand, skirmish, or even in the dark zone, I'm running triage, heal an ally with the skill to reduce skill cooldowns by 15%. Critical save, use a med kit during low health to increase damage resistance by 20% for 10 seconds. Combat medic, use a med kit near allies to heal group members and proxies within 20 meters by 40%, and then strike back, reach low health to reduce active skill cooldowns by 20%. So now if we get into character, you're going to see my critical hit chance is 45% and my critical hit damage is 130%. Now if I was to switch on to a suppressor instead of the loud vent break, I would be around 50% critical hit chance and then 116% critical hit damage. The headshot damage is 62%. My enemy armor damage is 15%, which is good for fighting NPCs. So when I'm building my stack with my showstopper, I can melt through the NPCs, get that stack really quick, and then I can get into battle. My armor mitigation is 33%, and then my exotic damage resilience is 24%. Bleed resistance 33%, blind death resistance 48%, and burn resistance 50%. Now if I could get rid of this blind death resistance and put on some shock resistance, that would be a lot better since a lot of people run the shock turret or throw shock grenades in PvP. So remember guys, if you still have any questions on this build, use the comment section down below. That's what the comments are for. I will get back to you. I'm really active on my YouTube page and I try to be involved with you guys as much as I can by answering your questions. So if you do have some questions, that's what you got the comment section for. Remember, if you guys enjoyed this video, hit the thumbs up. If you're new to my channel and this is the first time you're watching the video, hit that subscribe button. And as always guys, if you don't see me in Last Stand, if you don't see me in Skirmish, if you don't see me in the Dark Zone, it's only a matter of time. Nothing but skills is out.